Okay, welcome back. We're going to jump into some real time, fast forwarded December daily crafting. So the first is story one, which is the Christmas tree. I took this picture because I was thinking, wow, I still don't have my Christmas tree picture. And then I noticed, oh, that's right. The lights are out on it. I'm going to wait until my husband fixes it, and then I'll get a cute picture of it, and then I can go ahead and post it. I use the same ornaments every year, and so it's not like it's something different. It's just the tree that current year, the ornaments go on differently. And then I noticed my cat was sitting under the tree, and I'm like, well, wow, he doesn't need to wait for the lights to be fixed. He likes it just the way that it is. And so for me, that kind of was a reminder to stop waiting for everything to be perfect. And as I say that, I noticed that this picture was cut off, and so I had to go back and fix that because it was going to kill me. And I knew that that meant it was going to end up getting cut shorter. I was trying to fix it without having to cut it shorter. I think I need a new blade on my cutter. But yeah, back to the whole reasoning for the story one. I am choosing not to do any journaling with it, but the journaling can be found on my Instagram, where I share some of my photos at times. And really, it's just remembering that not everything has to be perfect. Um, the last holiday season was tough for me because I was going through a bout of depression, and I refused to put decorations up. And I refused to do all these things because to me nothing was coming out the right way. Nothing was coming out perfect. And so I'm really trying to concentrate on just enjoying and living in the moment as much as I can. So right here I'm looking at it and I'm figuring out that I'm going to have to have like an eighth of an inch mat around it. And so I'm cutting it down to that size, checking it again, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere it down. I'm going to have to check that blade before I dive into more, but it also could be the angle in which I was cutting to make sure that it was in, not focus, but in view for you guys, because sometimes I can pull it back closer to my face and you won't be able to see it. So I'm using some scrappy tape. That's my adhesive of choice to stick together. And I'm deciding if I want that garland to be on the bottom or on the top. And I decided to go ahead and put it facing on the bottom for my journaling. So you're going to be hearing some background ambient noise, and you're going to be hearing my children moving around, my pets moving around, or my husband snoring. It's early in the morning. I was going to wait to do the voiceover, but that kind of goes with the whole, it doesn't need to be perfect. The whole point of my sharing on here is to share organically. And this whole year I have recorded videos and then not shared them because they weren't perfect. And I can't do that because then I won't end up sharing anything. So for 2020, my goal is to just share as it comes, voiceover when I can do it, edit if I can, and if not, just share. Just share what I wanted to share and hope that that gives some encouragement or space for conversation with others. So here I am trying to use up some of my embellishments. I find that I use way less in December daily than I do in my traditional scrapbooking or pocket crafting. And I am trying to get through all the beautiful embellishments that brought me joy that I purchased, but it's just not going to happen because I'm going to go ahead and check under the grid transparency, and I'm just not going to like how it looks because while I want to cover that entertainment center, I also don't want to take away from the grid view that happens over the lights and the trees. I think that's pretty cool. So I'm going to check and then I'm going to remove it and decide to move on. So next I'm going to go to story two, and story two kind of is on the same path. So 2018 was a hard holiday season for me. Dealing with depression is a real thing. I think a lot of people are too scared to talk about it, but it's a real thing. And while I come off very strong and okay, sometimes I'm not. And, I had some really great friends who kind of lifted me up and supported me and brought me through it. And so this holiday season, I wanted to start it off with them. I wanted to, as a thank you, to have them in my home. So during my depression bout, I didn't invite anybody over. So opening up my doors and having people come in for this Friendsgiving was a big deal, and they need that. So I challenged everyone to make their best chili, and for a couple of weeks, a few of us practiced different chili recipes, and that meant that I had two that I wanted to share. The traditional chili recipe that I've used for years, and then a new keto one that I found that was white chili. And one's spicy, one's not. And then we had uh, four others bring chili. I had four families there, and it was a family event. All the kids came and everything, and we ate chili without knowing whose was who, and then we voted on it, and two tied. So when it comes to the journaling aspect, I made a decision at the start of this year or the end of last year to just write. And if there was mistakes or whatnot, then I would just keep them there and keep going because that's how I was writing. Now, obviously, this is sped up, but it took me a moment to get some of my thoughts down to paper. I know that if I would have wrote it before on something else, then I wouldn't have wrote it on here. So it's important for me to just be able to journal in the moment with the pictures. Some pictures I will put up on Instagram and then I will journal there, or I will start the journaling there, like with dates and stuff like that. But for the most part, I like to journal in the moment. So I'm okay with the mistakes. One of my favorite things now that I've been doing is underlining, and I do it really sloppy sometimes, especially when I'm note taking for my doctoral program. I notice that they will go through the words, and I'm okay with that. So I'm going to go ahead and slip that back in. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab the gathering card. There goes my dogs. They're going to be in the background now, fighting in the backyard. So I'm going to go ahead and just write the attendee list. And I honestly should have grabbed my calligraphy pen because I ended up doing a drop shadow once I put all the names down. And I don't usually like doing a drop shadow with a ballpoint pen because too much ink comes out and it looks a little messy. The lines kind of they bleed a little bit. So that's something I might add to my crafter's bag as a calligraphy pen of some kind so that I have the option to use that if I want to do a drop shadow. But usually with a calligraphy pen, I don't have to worry about going back and doing a drop shadow because it would automatically come in. I usually use a quill or a fountain pen. So that's a step that's removed. It takes a second to get this drop shadowing in because I am, knowing that it's a ballpoint, I am trying to take my time so it doesn't bleed as much. But at the end, I can tell that it bleeds even though I took my time. So bleeding means that the ink spreads over the paper into the fine lines or grooves of the paper. And I'm not a fan of that. So I'm going to go ahead and slip that back in. I don't really put anything else on that until afterwards. This one, I'm just going to go ahead and with a tiny stapler attach two staples kind of at a cross. It's a magenta pink or a red, I think, that's in here. I didn't want to change out the staples because I would lose them. So I just attach it. It has a heart, and then I'm going to write yum on it. And then I'm just going to slide that back in. Now, there's something that's going to be missing from this. After I finished doing this story and moved on to day 3, I remembered that I had the pictures of the surprise birthday cake that one of the families brought. I was drawing the writing there. So one of the families, the mom's birthday is on November 8th and Havana's birthday is on the 9th. And she brought a nothing but bundt cake for them to celebrate with. So that gets added over on one side. You can see that on my Instagram. And then this one I just added all through the house because we were all resting. Every day was cuddled up with someone. The cat was even out there with us. And you couldn't hear a noise in the house. We were all just super comfortable, relaxing after a fun evening with friends. So that is story 1. I need to add ribbon to this intro card. That's my intro, story 1 and story 2. I hope you guys enjoyed, and share below what your December daily looks like so far. Take care.